Hello everybody. I'm going to just look at a couple of minutes of Jonathan Kuminga's play in the Detroit game. Definitely some promising stuff and some rookie stuff. On this play, he's guarding Cade Cunningham. This is important because Kuminga definitely needs to be able to hang on defense, and in fact he shows flashes of being a good defender with his athleticism and general hustle. So the trick is seeing if he can continue to improve man-to-man defense and then also improving his defense within the team scheme. That's the big growing area. So Cade Cunningham getting a stagger screen here. I assume this is going to be a handoff. Kuminga's going to have to fight his way through one screen and then probably the second screen. Cunningham did get half a step on Kuminga going around the turn, but Kuminga is hanging with him. Kuminga's not alone, so Bjelica has helpfully rotated to stop this drive, which makes Bjelica's man open, but Wiggins has helpfully gone over, which leaves this man open, and I think Jerami Grant can hit a three. Cade Cunningham decides, hey, I can hit this shot. I'm not completely sure Cade recognized that Bjelica had rotated too, and Bjelica is doing a good job of getting high here, getting elevation that is, and it forces Cade Cunningham into this awkward looking hook, which misses. Pick and roll and counterattack. Chiozza does get a step on his defender, which causes the defense to step in, so Jerami Grant is leaving Bjelica, who's immediately popping out. This man is stabbing in, which leaves Kuminga open. Chiozza dishes it to Kuminga. Kuminga feels like he can attack Trey Lyles, but Trey Lyles hangs with him pretty well. I think I wouldn't have minded seeing Kuminga just post him up because he's pretty far into the paint here if he just turns his back and then just power moves right around the basket. But Kuminga, I don't know if he's trying to play in a team concept or something. Last game, he got pulled really early for jacking up some horrible three-pointers, so maybe he's just trying to be in more of a team spot. In a perfect world, he'd see that Bjelica's completely open because Grant still hasn't rotated out. Kuminga is just a little slow to get the pass out there. It's a good idea. Grant had still been rotating out, but it's just a second late, and Grant did a great job of getting in the way. That's a world's luckiest deflection there. Goes right back to Bjelica. Thank you very much. Damian Lee tosses up a three, which misses. Bjelica's got, I guess he's wearing a lucky horseshoe attached to a rabbit's foot or something. The ball just keeps on finding him. And finally his luck runs out. The play has gotten very scrappy and ugly. The last Warriors possession involved multiple people falling to the ground. Everything seems under control right now. Kuminga's guarding somebody. These two are matched up. Bjelica's not guarding anybody, and this fellow seems to think he's open, so that's trouble. Skip pass. Frank Jackson, who absolutely tortured the Warriors all night, was open, forces Bjelica to come out. Okay, so this is super disorganized defense. I think you can see it, right? Because we have, that's life. Bjelica closed out, and of course Jackson treated him like a traffic cone. But now we have three Warriors rotating, and it's not 100% clear who the correct person to rotate is. In current typical NBA defenses, it's the low weak side man, so the person on the other side of the court from the ball and closest to the basket. So that would be Wiggins. Chiozza is coming in. I guess maybe, I'm not sure why he's coming in, but I think Kuminga really has no excuse to be helping on this play, and this is just a general issue that he had. This is something he has to learn. So this ultra commit, this quadruple team of Frank Jackson leaves one man, two man, three man. Hey, this person's guarded. All right, so three men open. This guy's holding up his hand. It's just a disaster. Jackson actually takes it into the traffic instead of hitting one of the three teammates that was open. This guy seems a little bit unhappy about not having the ball kicked out to him. After all, Corey Joseph was open, but hey Corey, there were three people open on the play, all right? Wait your turn. This is a play that I covered in my Poole video, so I won't linger on it, but this is a horns play, and Kuminga is getting a nice solid screen on this defender. This defender is definitely feeling it. And Poole is stepping out here and getting the pass. And that gives Poole a temporary advantage, and Kuminga is running the play well, so that's not to be taken for granted. Kuminga steps up and he has a little bit of trouble finding a good angle for the screen, but I think this is not a bad angle. This definitely is threatening that Poole will go this way, and that convinces the Pistons to react seriously to this pick and roll. This big guy is already hanging out, waiting to receive Poole on the other side. This guy is definitely leaning into the screen. That leaves an opening for Poole to go the other way and just go away from all the pressure. The Warriors counterattack after the Pistons blew a layup and the attacker ended up in the stands, so we definitely have a 5-on-4, and quite a few Warriors here think that they're open. So Poole has the ball, but helpful advice is Chiozza thinks he's wide open, so does Bjelica. Poole decides just to take it himself. There's definitely something funny about Kuminga's spacing with Poole. So Poole, I don't think he registered that Kuminga was right here. It's like Kuminga hasn't been fully entered into the system yet or something. And so Poole was thinking all the way about Bjelica here. He sees that this man is helping. He saw that this man was already guarding him, so he thinks Bjelica's open, and this is true, so he fires off this pass, but this is a really nice defensive play to deflect the pass. That saves an open 3. Have I mentioned that Bjelica has been wearing a rabbit's foot covered in 4-leaf clover juice? Every random ball seems to be finding him. And, okay, fakes the 3. The state of play has been pretty scrappy this whole time. So Bjelica has the little up fake, which sends this defender into the stands. Nice telekinesis, Bjelica. He's going to drive in his way. I don't know what he sees here. There are 2 defenders, and there's only 1 helper here. I think Bjelica figures, if I go in to the defense, there's 1 man off the court already. Something good will happen, I'll find the open man. So even though Bjelica is slow, he did somehow just off the dribble manage to beat 2 defenders with, maybe he's using a little bit of Jedi mind tricks or something. Now this defender is reaching instead of getting in Bjelica's way, which means amazingly this defender now has to rotate. Bjelica has now ruthlessly eliminated 2 defenders, which means people have to be open, and the people open are Kuminga, and Damian Lee would like to volunteer to answer. He believes he's open. Bjelica really has made something out of nothing. He's managed to beat 2 defenders and draw a 3rd defender to himself, and he thinks this is the young guy, he needs some action, and he tosses up this beautiful little lob, which Kuminga is just not at all expecting, which is a real waste. Kuminga at the last second goes up for it, but this could have been so much more thunderous, and he misses. Pistons counterattack. High screen here. This guy's going to turn the corner. Kuminga is guarding Corey Joseph over here. I don't think he should be this far away. He's athletic, but this doesn't feel like a good habit to get into. This attacker turns the corner. Kuminga took a step in. He's eager to help defensively. He was ready to rotate to try to block the shot, but I don't think this is his rotation. He's the only one who can get out to this man. And as I said, it's usually the low, weak side defender whose job it is to rotate, because if Damian Lee rotates, then Kuminga can step out and get to both of these men. You admire the enthusiasm, but this is the kind of thing a good offense will punish hard. Joseph attacks and Kuminga closed out, and then he turned around, he's staying with Joseph, and he just stones him on this drive. Nice work. Kick out. Complete air ball. And the ball goes to, I mean, what is going on with Bjelica? I guess that's what happens when you wake up in the morning and you chug a smoothie with angel tears and shredded winning lottery tickets. The Warriors have gone into a zone that kind of looks like a triangle and 2. Here's your triangle, and here's your 2. And these 2 are guarding man-to-man. Number 6, Diallo over here is going to cut through, but Kuminga is not going to follow. He's just going to acknowledge, and then he's going to pass him off to the next corner of the triangle. He's pointing at the cutting man and telling Bjelica, hey, you've got to be aware of that guy. Well, can you 100% blame Kuminga for this? I mean, he was kind of in his position in the triangle there, and he is closing out, although not very fast. He was in a bad situation because if he closed out really fast, then the passer, instead of swinging around this way, he could have had a backdoor cut. So, I don't know, it's pretty tricky. Maybe you just take your chances with this kind of 3. which he shoots in his face and makes. This play starts off as a disaster. Poole can't hang on to the ball, but in his defense, nobody on the court has been able to hang on to the ball. Time is running out. There's only 7 on the clock. Bjelica tries to make the best of it and sets a screen for Poole. Detroit does a kind of awkward double team. I guess they figure, hey, there's only 5 on the shot clock. This is not bad thinking, but it's weird for them to have 2 people on Jordan Poole's left, which makes it very easy for him to dish the ball out to Bjelica. 5 seconds. Can he get something done? There's something completely magnetic about Bjelica. I don't know why the Detroit defense is paying so much attention to him. This guy rotated. This guy's pinching in. This guy is also looking super interested. This guy is paying a lot of attention to number 8, and he's playing so far off of Kuminga. So, of course, you do want Kuminga to shoot a 3, but you don't want Damian Lee to shoot a 3. But Bjelica sees Kuminga first. Bjelica finds Kuminga and says, go do something. It's 3.5 seconds, rookie. And just a nice power move. This defender was closing out pretty hard. He just goes right by him. He's forced a second defender to rotate. And he just goes up with raw power, and he gets bumped along the way. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty sweet dunk. And he hits the free throws, which is not to be taken for granted with Kuminga's track record. Poole is holding up a fist. The fist play usually is a call for the clay play. You can see plenty of pointing. So Bjelica is saying, all right, I think you come up. The current formation will be that Bjelica sets this pin down, and Kuminga comes up and then sets this slip screen. But Damian Lee is pointing and saying, wait, doesn't it make sense for me to be the guy who's popping out? Anyway, there's just a lot of discussion. Lots and lots of disagreement. Bjelica seems to be saying, hey, Chiozza, you got to be the one to set this pin-in screen. But it is pretty wacky to have Chiozza setting this pin-in screen for Bjelica popping out. Anyway, if this were a sitcom, this would definitely lead to some misunderstandings and some wacky hijinks. But Detroit decides to short-circuit the whole thing, and they just have 2 men run right at Jordan Poole, which is a pretty bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for them, because why would you do this with 13 on the clock? I don't really understand. But they're giving Poole the Curry treatment, and they are double teaming him, even though he's on the deep part of the logo. I don't get it. So he goes up. There is a little bit of a crisis because the Warriors were definitely not expecting the Pistons to do something this weird. So now Poole has to find someone to release this ball to. Chiozza is paying attention, so he's coming up to get the release. Poole throws it over. Bjelica says, oh no, clay play time is over. That was going to be fun. And he's immediately spacing out to the wing here. I think he's expecting that Chiozza will want to attack down the middle because it is a 4-on-3 over here. So these guys have to scatter and get as far apart as possible. Detroit definitely has structural problems here. So Chiozza is guarded, Lee is guarded. Wow, I mean, the Poole is not only guarded, but he seems to have gained a friend, maybe even a pen pal. That means that this one defender is supposed to guard both Kuminga and Bjelica, who just walked off stage left. Detroit is trying to recover. Frank Jackson ran back onto the stage and he was just pointing, saying, wait, who's got the big guy? You're bigger than me. You should take the big guy. All kinds of discussion. Chiozza sees the opportunity and he says, less talk, more pass. Tries to fire a pass through. And it gets there. That's pretty clean bounce pass, gotta admit. This defender is getting here on time, although a little bit awkward. And Kuminga is just going to try to turn. One dribble, power move, 2-foot landing, and go up strong. And he gets fouled. That's just the perfect situation for Kuminga. Get him the ball near the basket, let him take one power dribble, and just use his superior athleticism. So here's the cherry on the mixed ice cream sundae of Kuminga's performance in this quarter. Detroit is actually putting together what looks like a Spain pick and roll. They have a screen here, looks like a simple pick and roll, but then there's someone else who's going to screen the screener, and that's nowadays called Spain pick and roll or stack pick and roll. I don't know, don't you think screen the screener sounds cooler? Ball handler turns the corner on Looney. It does look like he's going to have a road to the basket. I think it is correct that Kuminga has to rotate since he is on the weak side and he's the low man. But Chiozza has a different opinion. I'm not completely sure whose fault this is. The Warriors have not had to guard a lot of Spain pick and roll. So when I first saw this, I assumed that Kuminga made a mistake. I think that it's Chiozza that's made a mistake here. I think the cleanest thing would be Kuminga rotates. Like, that makes a lot of sense, right? That Kuminga can really alter the shot. Chiozza can maybe alter the shot psychologically, but not with his physical body. And he should just stay next to this man, and Damian Lee is already in position to zone these two. So a lot of people are collapsing onto Cory Joseph, who makes a nice clean find of the man in the corner here, who has been abandoned. In normal circumstances, I think Damian Lee needed to be guarding him, but in his defense, there are 3 guys now that he has to guard, so, you know, we give him a break on this. It's an open 3, except that the pass was a little bit wild, and that gives Kuminga a chance to make up for things with his speed and just closing out, and just hope that he doesn't foul. And he does contest. That's looking almost like a foul. That was pretty close, and that was almost a 3. But the Warriors escape. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So all in all, how did the rookie do? I don't know, mixed bag. At least 1 missed rotation, some tentativeness, right passes too slow, power moves that used his strength well to get to the line.